Welcome back to episode 10 of NBA Playoff Watch. It's been a little over a week since our last episode. Our last episode was right after the trade deadline, so reacting to all the trades. Yeah, and this one we got a lot to cover. We got teams getting hot, the Lakers, the Warriors, some pretty big injury news. Kind of just looking around at the whole league. We're going to touch on each team in both the West and the East, so all 30 teams, and then put all the teams as the standings are right now in a playoff bracket and make our playoff predictions. Real quick though, if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. We do college basketball, college football, NFL, NBA, and MLB. So if any of that interests you, make sure you go down there, subscribe. MLB season coming around the corner, and college basketball conference tournaments. I don't know if any of you are interested in that, but we're predicting all 31 right here on this channel. So make sure you subscribe, turn on the noties to make sure you don't miss whenever we post those, because those are coming very soon. Apologize for the long intro, but let's go ahead and get into the Eastern Conference standings. And at the top, still going to be the Cavs. I mean, they have maybe the DPOY on their team now that Wembanyama is out for the year. We'll get to that in a little bit. But, yeah, Evan Mobley, it's probably going to be him or Jaren Jackson Jr. And the Cavs and the Grizzlies did just play. The Cavs ended up winning. The Cavs are just a really good team, man, all around. Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, those two have been absolutely electric. And then defensively, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen are just huge players. Not to mention they brought in DeAndre Hunter. That's a huge acquisition for them. Ty Jerome off the bench has been amazing for them. So, yeah, this Cavs team is really well put together. They're sitting at the 1 seed still. The Celtics maybe still the favorite to win the championship at 42-16 at the 2 seed in the East. And yeah, you could argue they still are the favorite. They actually might still be the odds-on favorite. I wouldn't be surprised. You got Tatum, you got Brown, you got Porzingis, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Drew Holiday, Al Horford. I mean, it just keeps going. The depth on this team is ridiculous. The fact that they play both sides of the ball very well, shoot the three very well. I mean, Tatum's averaging 27, 9, and 6. I didn't even realize his stats were that good. He's been absolutely amazing. And people don't talk about Tatum. People kind of shaft Tatum a little bit. I mean, he's a really good player. And I feel like, I saw the thing he was saying. He feels like he gets disrespect. I kind of agree with him. I mean, people don't talk about it, but he's pretty clearly a top 10 player in the league. With the Knicks at the 3 seed, this is a team that I really do like. I don't really think they have much of a well, they have a chance, but is it realistic? Would I predict them to make it out of the second round? I mean, I don't know. They've played the Cavs and the Celtics, but it feels like every time they play a good team, they struggle. Maybe that's not accurate. Maybe it's just when they play the Cavs and the Celtics. I mean, the Cavs are on an 8-game win streak. Celtics are on a 6-game win streak. They're both those two teams are 9-1 in their last 10. The Knicks are on a 2-game losing streak, 6-4 in their last 10. I mean, that doesn't really have anything to do with it, but I mean, like I said, every time they play one of these teams, I mean, the Cavs beat them by almost 40 the other night, and then the Celtics just beat them by 30. Not to mention earlier in the month by 13. Not to mention earlier in the month the Celtics beat them by 30. Yeah, I don't know. The Knicks actually play the Grizzlies coming up. That'll actually be a very interesting game to see. But yeah, Jalen Brunson and Cat are still great players, and not to mention Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. I mean, the rest of the whole team. It's just, are they on the level of the top two in the East? Probably not. I think they're a bit of a tier down. Even though I was saying recently that the Knicks are, right there, but I take that back a little bit. The Pacers and the Bucks currently both fighting for the 4 seed yesterday. I was gonna record this yesterday. I ended up recording it today. But when I was doing that, the Bucks were the 4 seed. Now they switched again, so these two teams are going back and forth. And yeah, pretty evenly matched. Siakam's been amazing. He's an all-star this year. Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin. I haven't really heard about him much, at least in media, but 16 points a game, 6 rebounds. I mean, he's had a really solid year. Miles Turner, as always, has been very solid. Yeah, this Pacers team is just a fun team overall. The Bucks have been without Giannis for some time. He is back now. I believe Dame is also back. I think he was injured at some point. I think for the most part, fully healthy team, at least in my assumption. And then when this team is healthy, they're a scary team to play. When you have Giannis and Dame on the same team, especially in the playoffs, I mean, you can't be count out. You can't be you can't be counted out. That's for sure. The Pistons, 32 and 26, but the Pistons right now on a 7-game win streak. The Pistons have been amazing recently, and that's got a lot to do with Cade Cunningham. He's been playing amazing. He's almost up to 26 points a game. If this team had Jay and Ivy, man, they could be pushing a 4 or 5 seed. It's crazy the turnaround the Pistons have had. Malik Beasley's been amazing for them, almost up to 17 points a game. He's just a great 3-point shooter coming off the bench, averaging that much. Jalen Duren has been really solid for them, 11 and 10. Um, yeah, I really like this team. This Pistons team, kind of like the Pacers, fun, young team that they've really impressed me this season just because of the fact how quickly they've turned this around. The Magic is the 7th seed. I said this last episode. I'll say it again. I wouldn't be surprised if the Magic got above the play-in, if they got the 6th seed, if they got the 5 seed. But as of right now, I think they're deserving where they're at. I mean, they have dealt with a whole lot of injuries. Paolo, Franz, Jalen Suggs, I believe, is still out. I mean, actually, Jalen Suggs might be back now. But man, this team just the offense it worries me. Yeah, Jalen Suggs still not back. The offense worries me for this team, but the defense is just so good. I mean, second best defense in the league. And yeah, they're still dealing with injuries, but if they could, that's what I was saying. If they might have tried to get like Zach LaVine just to get that offense. If I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Magic make a move in the offseason for just a scorer. The Hawks at 27 and 31. The rest of the East is just bad. I mean, if we're being honest, not much intrigue here. The Hawks are without DeAndre Hunter now because they traded him to the Cavs. They brought in Karis LeVert, but Jalen Johnson's out for the year. Trae Young's having a really solid year, but I mean, besides that, there's not much to talk about here. The Heat, same thing. Tyler Hero and Bam have been playing really well, but ever since all the Jimmy Butler stuff, it's just not. It's not what you want to see from the Heat. They're always a dangerous team just because Spoelstra is one of the best coaches in the league, maybe the best. I've been on record saying he is the best coach in the league. Andrew Wiggins, in the 5 games he's played for the Heat, 18 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. That's not bad. I mean, and he also brings a whole lot of defense as well. So we'll see. We'll see how he continues to look. The Bulls at 23 and 35. I've been waiting for them to get knocked out of the play, and they're still just holding on. I mean, they're 12 games under 500. It's crazy to me that this team has a chance to make the playoffs with 12 games under 500. They're probably going to finish close to 20 games under 500, maybe even a little more. I mean, this team is just so bad. It's just there's just nobody exciting there's nothing to be excited about, and it sucks because I am a Bulls fan. But hopefully in the next couple of years we'll figure things out. I'm sure Nets fans are saying the same thing. Although the Nets weren't expected to be good this year, and I know the Bulls weren't either, but the Bulls were expected to be at least a fringe play-in team. The Nets were expected to be bottom of the East, and look at them. They're only at 1.5 games out of the play-in, so good for them. The Sixers, I think it's safe to say that this year is done. I've been kind of holding out hope just because of how good Maxey's looked. But Embiid's only played 19 games. He can't stay healthy, and it sucks because he was so good. Jared McCain's out for the year. He's been out for the year for a while. Paul George has only played 38 out of 57 games. Maxey was also hurt at earlier points in the year. I mean, just the whole team. Drummond's only played 33 games. Caleb Martin's only played 31 games. At least Kelly Oubre's been playing, and he's averaging 15 points a game. So at least he's been solid. But yeah, I mean, this team is just so many injuries. It looks like they're like this year's Grizzlies in a way, where last year the Grizzlies were expected to be very good. Then they had just everyone on their team got injured, and now, they're at the bottom. Maybe that's more close to the Pelicans of this year, that comparison. But you could make the argument. Although the Sixers have had Maxey for most of the year, the Raptors just a bad team. I mean, just a bad team. Scotty Barnes, is averaging 20 points a game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Very solid there. He's looking solid. Grady Dick's looking pretty good. RJ Barrett's averaging 22 a game, but I mean, it's just the roster's just not great. They're 18 and 40. I think you could see that. The Hornets are just getting killed, and I saw a stat in the last 3 games. They're like minus 122. That is actually just horrible. And it doesn't help that Brandon Miller's been out for the year. LaMelo's missed 20 plus games. Uh, Mark Williams has also missed a whole lot of time. I mean, it's everyone's getting injured, and even at full strength, the Hornets weren't even playing that well. And then the Wizards at the bottom. They got Chris Middleton now. Yippee! I mean, he's only played 2 games, and in those 2 games, he's averaging 9.5 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. I guess. I mean, yeah. There's if we're being honest, there's nothing really here for the Wizards. They're gonna be a lottery team, and I think they're fine with that. I think if I was a Wizards fan, I'd want them to just tank for the next couple of years, get a team, competent team. Yeah, they're 10 and 47, worst team in the league. Moving on though to the Western Conference, definitely the better of the two. I think that goes without saying. And starting off at the top with the Thunder. Now we did see the Thunder show some cracks. They lost. They were up, what was it, like 30 points in the third quarter. They were up 25 at one point in the fourth. They were up like 15 with like 3 minutes to go against the Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves won. Just goes to show the Timberwolves are still a very good team. Don't count them out. That's now. This is a little interesting. I don't know if this is right, but it's saying that the Thunder and the Timberwolves have played 3 times in the last like 2 weeks. Is that actually correct? Because that doesn't seem right, but I think that's right. I don't know. That seems a little strange. But the Timberwolves won 2 out of the 3, and in the one game the Thunder won, they only won by 7. The Timberwolves won the first one by 15, then they lost by 7, and then they won by 3. Um, that's that's interesting. So we'll see what. Yeah, the Thunder is still a really good team. SGA is going to be MVP. It looks like. J Dub's been amazing. Chet Holmgren, when he comes back, is just going to add another layer to this team, another piece. But yeah, this team is just so deep. Best defense in the league. It's really hard to compete with the Thunder. The Nuggets up to the 2 seed now. Them and the Grizzlies are tied, but with the way the Nuggets have been playing recently, I mean they're 9-1 in their last 10. They just went on like a crazy win streak that just got snapped. I think it was like 9 or 10 games. I mean it was ridiculous what they were doing to some of these teams. The Lakers did go into Denver and beat them though. We'll get to the Lakers in a second, but they have been crazy. But yeah, Jokic still gonna be one of the MVPs, MVP candidates for the next couple of seasons. It looks like. I mean, like he's already won 3. Jamal Murray has actually been stepping it up a little bit. He's averaging 21 points a game now. A lot of the I've been critical of the Nuggets just because their depth has been so bad. But a lot of their guys recently have really been stepping it up. Michael Porter Jr. is almost up to 19 points a game. Christian Braun is almost up to 15 a game. Russell Westbrook is almost up to 13. I mean, I have been pretty critical with this team, and I'm still worried about the depth. But as a team, I mean, offensively, they're looking a whole lot better. And that's got a lot to do with Jokic, but he's been good. A lot of the guys around him have really been stepping it up, so that's good to see if you're a Nuggets fan. They've been playing amazing. The Grizzlies potentially could be having the DPOY now that Wemby's out. We'll get to that, obviously, when we get to the Spurs. But, yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr., 23 points a game. He's averaging a steal and almost 2 blocks. I mean, he may be the DPOY. It may also go to Evan Mobley. We'll see. It's a pretty tight race. But, yeah, this Grizzlies team is still very good. Actually averaging the most team points per game out of any team in the league, and they also have potentially the DPOY and a very good defense besides him as well. So this Grizzlies team is very well rounded. I really like what I'm seeing. Something about him, I just feel like I can't trust him. I don't know. It's a little weird. the Lakers. We got to talk about this. They're 35 and 21 now. 8 and 2 in their last 10 games. That is the same in their last 10 games as the Thunder. Um, the Lakers have been absolutely rolling. I mean, since the Luka trade, it has been lights out for the Lakers. Um, Everyone was worried about their center problems. Well, they just beat Jokic, the best big in the league. Um, and they also just beat the Mavericks in the Luka revenge game, the AD revenge game. AD is one of the best bigs in the league. So it's starting to look like it doesn't matter all that too much. Luka's getting off his minutes restriction, and now he's starting to find his stride a little bit. I mean, with the Lakers, he's averaging 19, 9, and 7 right now. LeBron's just getting better somehow. I don't know. LeBron is just one of one. He's getting better, and he's 40 years old. Um, Rui Hachimura's been very solid. Not to mention Austin Reeves has been amazing. Um, this Lakers team is you do not want to if you're the Lakers are hot right now, by the way. But even if you're any team, you see LeBron and Luka on the other side on the team you're playing against in a 7-game series. I wouldn't want to have to deal with that at all. And I know the center thing still a concern, but man, I mean, this Lakers team is playing lights out right now. Shout out to the Lakers. Rob Pelinka, he's been, he's been a little bit rough at times, but man, that Luka trade was something else. The Rockets now at the 5 seed. I believe they were 3 seed. Actually, they were the 2 seed at one point. They've been kind of fading down a little bit. I think this is kind of more close to where they actually are in terms, maybe even a little bit lower, dare I say. But yeah, this is still a really fun, exciting young team. Jalen Green, Sengun, Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore. I mean, that's just a name. I mean, they have a lot of young guys. They also have Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks. It's a very deep team. The Clippers, shout out to Norman Powell, man. He just continues to stay in the 6 seed. I mean, the Clippers have been the 6 seed for it feels like months. I mean, Norman Powell's averaging 24 a game. James Harden, people aren't talking about him a lot. 22 points a game and almost 9 assists and 6 rebounds. He's putting together a really good season. Under the radar, too, I feel like. People don't know him talk. He's still one of the best players in the league. Kawhi can't stay healthy, but, And Zubac, by the way, I mean, 15 points a game, almost 13 rebounds. I believe he's like top 3 in rebounds per game right now. Zubac has been amazing. I call him Zubac. I know it's Zubac, but call him Zubac. I don't know why. I've just always done that. But yeah, the Clippers, they just continue to stay here. Now, do I think they can win a playoff series with this team? Maybe if they get the right matchup, but I don't know. I still don't know how much I can trust him with Norman Powell being your. I mean, he's not their number one guy, but because James Harden is, but Norman Powell's their leading scorer, so you know what I mean. So I don't know about that, but hey, they're doing their thing. The Timberwolves continue to get closer and closer to getting out of the plan. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they did finish the top 5 seed in the West. Just because they start out really slow. They've kind of been finding their stride a little bit. Ant has been ridiculous as of late. He's almost up to 28 points per game. It seems like every time I look, he continues to get better. I mean, there were points in the year he was at 24. Now he's up to 27.5. He's really taken the reins of this team offensively, and then defensively, still one of the best defensive teams in the league. With Naz Reid, with Rudy Gobert, with Jaden McDaniels. DiVincenzo's solid. Mike Conley, Rob Dillingham's been pretty solid in the games he's actually played. Nickeil Alexander-Walker just had a really good game. I mean, this team they got a lot of depth. They play defense, and it's been electric offensively as of late. Yeah, shout out to Timberwolves. Speaking of electric as of late, The Warriors have just come out of the woodworks. They are completely back after the Jimmy Butler trade. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're currently on a 4-game win streak, and they just beat the Hornets by. I know it's the Hornets, but they just beat the Hornets 128-92. And Steph Curry barely even scored that much. I think he had like 15 points. I mean, that Jimmy Butler trade has brought new life into the Warriors, and now they're sitting at the 8 seed, only a half game out of the 6 seed, by the way. They could very easily make it out of the play-in with the way they're playing. Um, Jimmy Butler, in his 7 games so far, is averaging 18, 6, and 5, but he brings so much more than offense. He's very good defensively. I believe Kuminga's still injured, I want to say. So when he comes back, the team's only going to get better. Um, I mean, defensively, offensively, this team is really coming together. The Warriors are playing really good, and again, it's kind of the Lakers thing. You don't want to see Curry and Jimmy Butler in a playoff series. I mean, maybe even, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe even more than LeBron and Luka, but it's debatable because Jimmy Butler is one of the best, maybe the best playoff riser. Um, but I mean, it is also LeBron and Luka. But then again, Curry is impossible to guard. So pick your poison. Would you rather put in the comments? How about that? Would you rather see take out of account the team, because I think you'd probably rather see the Warriors than the Lakers. I think the Lakers are the better team. But take that out of. Would you, if you're playing against a team, would you rather play against LeBron and Luka and try to win, or Curry and Jimmy Butler? Let me know. I'm actually interested. The Mavericks at the 9 seed. Now the Mavericks are still a dangerous team. The West is just so much more. It's always been better than the East. I mean, this is ridiculous. The Mavericks are the 9 seed, and they made the finals last year, and they're also 3 games over 500. The Bulls are the 10 seed in the East, 12 games under 500. I mean, it's crazy, but Kyrie Irving has really been outstanding as of late. PJ Washington stepping it up a little bit. Daniel Gafford as well. Anthony Davis has been out. He's only played 1 game with the Mavericks. He's been dealing with his injury. When he comes back, I think this Mavericks team can be very dangerous, but as of right now, I think their ceiling is a bit capped without AD. The Kings, the new version of the Bulls, I've been saying. I mean, that's really what it is. Um, but yeah, I mean, Levine's actually just had like a 42-point game. Good for him. Sabonis is averaging 20 and 15, as well as 6 assists, and he wasn't an All-Star. That's bad. It just is. But yeah, Levine's 23 points a game. DeRozan's 22. Sabonis is 20. Malik Monk's 18. This is a pretty solid offensive team. Now defensively, I do, it's not great. And I don't love the Levine DeRozan fit. I'm sorry, I don't. But they're in the play-in, so shout out to them. The Suns may be done. It's looking like Kevin Durant's going to get traded this offseason. Devin Booker continues to stick it out with this team. Respect to him, man. He's been through a whole lot with this team. But yeah, Kevin Durant's looking like he's just given up on this team. And it looks like the whole team's really given up. It's sad to see because the Suns, KD, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, I mean, they have guys. It's not working. Change is looking like it's coming. The Trailblazers right now, I believe the Trailblazers, they they're probably not gonna make the play-in, but they've actually been pretty solid recently. They're 6-4 in their last 10, a lot better than 11 through 15 in the rest. The next best is 3-7. So Trailblazers have actually been playing pretty solid recently. Shout out to Anthony Simon, Shaden Sharp. They've been solid. The Spurs losing Wemby for the year is obviously a huge loss because they probably could have made a play-in push. I mean, maybe not just because of how good the West is, but it was definitely in the cards. But yeah, Wemby being out for the year, prayers up for him. Hopefully he's alright. It'd be a shame if, this gets anything worse. So again, praying for Wemby. Hopefully he can get back next season and be back to his dominance, because he was He was just phenomenal this season. But yeah, they still got De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle. I mean, Jeremy Sohan, still a fun team. Devin Vassell. But yeah, I don't know if they'll make the play-in at this point. The Pelicans, just just a disaster of a season. Brandon Ingram's now gone. I mean, the whole team's been injured. Nobody's really played. We'll see what happens, what they do with Zion this offseason. And then the Jazz at the bottom of the West. We knew the Jazz were going to be bad. Um, just not a great team, if we're being honest. But moving on to the fun part of the video. Apologize. Gotta touch on all 30 teams. That's the promise. That's how we do things. But getting on into the playoff predictions, the fun part. And we're going to kick things off with the Timberwolves versus the Warriors. And this is a very, very tough series for me to predict because the Timberwolves have been so good as of recently. Anthony Edwards has been absolutely electric. But in a one-game series, I'm still going to give the edge to Curry. I'm sorry. It's Steph Curry. You can't dismiss that. And the fact that the Warriors have been so hot as of recently, I know the Timberwolves have been playing very well recently too. But the Warriors are on a 4-game win streak. And I know the Timberwolves just beat the Thunder. But in a one-game scenario, I'm going to take the Warriors. Sorry, this is a very tough game to predict. Back over to the West, to the top, the 9 versus 10 game, the Mavericks versus the Kings. Maybe I don't know. AD's not playing. Obviously he's injured. I'm still gonna give the edge to the Mavericks. I'm sorry, Kyrie Irving's been absolutely amazing, and I just don't love this Kings team. They have a lot of good players. LaVine's a good player. DeRozan, Malik Monk, Sabonis. But I don't know. I kind of want to see the fit a little bit more. I was never really a fan of pairing LaVine and DeRozan back up. So, you know, I'm gonna give the edge to the Mavericks, but I will go ahead and take the Timberwolves pretty easily there. I just think, as of right now, they're maybe with AD, I could give the edge to the Mavericks. I mean, the Mavericks are still a really good team, but at this point, with keeping in fact how everyone's playing right now, and as well as injuries, I'll go ahead and take the Timberwolves. Moving over to the East plane, we're looking at the 7-8 game, the Magic versus the Hawks, and both these teams have dealt with injuries. The Hawks are a little more injured right now. The Magic are kind of just without Suggs, so I'll give the edge to the Magic. I just think defensively they have enough. I do worry about their offensive ceiling and potential, but the Hawks they do have a solid offense, but I don't know. I mean, no more Jalen Johnson. That stinks. Trading away DeAndre Hunter. I know they have Caris LeVert now, but I don't know. I'm gonna still give the edge to the Magic. The Heat versus the Bulls. The Heat no longer with Jimmy Butler. I still think they get it done over the Bulls. I'm done with the Bulls. They're just not a good team, and this is coming from a Bulls fan. They're just not a good team. It's as simple as that. The Heat, coaching wise, way better. Tyler Hero has been amazing this season. Bam is gonna have a very good game against Vucevic. So I'll go ahead and give this one to the Heat. They typically tend to get it done in the playoffs. The Hawks do have Trae Young, so a little bit better than the Bulls there, but I'm still going to go ahead and give the edge to Spoelstra and the Heat. I just think coaching-wise, defensively, they're still a really good team. Tyler Hero's been amazing this season. I'll give the edge to the Heat here, but I think either way, I mean, neither of these teams are beating the Cavs. A little bit of a spoiler, but I think that's fair to say. Moving back, though, to the Western Conference, the Thunder versus the Timberwolves. Now, normally a 1 versus 8 isn't very exciting, but this one, I don't know, something about this. Like I said, the Timberwolves just played this team 3 times, and they won 2 of the 3. And it's a little different playoff time. I know the Thunder are still without Chet Holmgren. So I actually considered this a little bit more. I haven't really considered picking anyone over the Thunder in the first round. I actually thought about this one. I'll still go with the Thunder. I just think they have enough. But the lack of experience does worry me a little bit. SGA has been very good. And, this team is very deep and number 1 defense in the league. So I'll give that to the Thunder just because of the depth in the defense. And SGA is just ridiculous. But I know Anthony Edwards is too. And the Timberwolves have a very good defense as well. So very even matchup, but I will give that to the Thunder. They have the home court. The Lakers versus the Rockets. I love the Rockets. I think they're a very fun team. but with the way the Lakers are playing, this one's pretty clear to me. I've been picking the Lakers even before their hot streak over the Rockets. Now they have the home court as well over the Rockets. Just a lot of signs are pointing to the Lakers right now. I mean, and again, with the way they're playing, I'll pretty clearly take the Lakers. The Grizzlies versus the Clippers. Honestly, probably, well, this is pretty clear. Probably the least exciting of the first round Western Conference series in this, what the standings are currently. I'll take the Grizzlies. Offensively, I keep saying this, but they're, as a team, averaging the most points a game, which is kind of weird. I feel like when I watch them, the defense is more their strong suit, which I guess is a good thing. That, the offense is that good statistically, and, the defense, when you watch it, feels like their strong point. But yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr. is just going to have a great series, I think, and I think, as a whole team, the Grizzlies are deeper, better, more well-rounded. The Nuggets versus the Warriors. Now, the Warriors, same thing with the Lakers. They have the playoff experience. All those guys know how to win, and they are playing very good right now. The difference is the Nuggets are not like the Rockets. The Nuggets are not an inexperienced young team who's not playing great right now. The Nuggets are playing very good right now as well, and they have the best player in the world in Jokic. Now, I do worry about the depth. But like I said, the depth, those guys, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Russell Westbrook, Christian Braun, have all stepped it up and are playing better. So I'll say the Nuggets win. I just think, who's got Jokic here? And the Warriors are still without Kuminga. Maybe when Kuminga, but even with Kuminga, I don't know if I'd take him over the Nuggets. But if the Warriors get in there as a 6 seed, they could beat the Grizzlies for sure. We'll see. It all depends on the matchup, but the Warriors are playing amazing right now. Don't let that take away from that. But I will go ahead and say the Nuggets win. I think the Cavs beat the Heat pretty easy here. I mean, they're just too good offensively. I don't think the Heat can really keep up. Just short and simple, but I think that's fair. The Cavs have been so good in the East so far this season. The Pacers versus the Bucks. We keep seeing this matchup. It's looking like this will probably be the 4-5 unless the Pistons maybe get in there, maybe the Magic, maybe the Pacers and the Bucks move up. But honestly, I'd probably expect these two teams to be the 4 and 5 seeds. There's just not much I can see happening in the East. With this matchup, I actually took the Pacers last time because the Bucks were without Giannis. Now with Giannis back, with Dame in there, it's just hard to go against Giannis and Dame, especially in the first round. I know the Pacers are a very solid team, and they play very fast, but I think just the amount of experience the Bucks have, and the fact they've brought in Kuzma, another guy who can just go ahead and score. He brings a whole new layer to this team because Middleton wasn't really playing. So I'll go ahead and take the Bucks over the Pacers, but I think that would be a very fun, very close series. The Knicks versus the Pistons. The Pistons have been very hot as of recently, and I was kind of hating on the Knicks. I don't know if I'd say hating, just saying they're not in the top tier of the East with the Cavs and the Celtics, but against the Pistons, I mean, I still do believe the Knicks are the third best team in the East. I don't know if I see them getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, but Brunson and Cat are very good. That's a very good duo, offensive duo. And Thibodeau's going to have those guys ready to play defensively. I mean, they still have Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, two very good perimeter defenders, as well as Josh Hart. He's very solid. Mitchell Robinson. I mean, this team is very good. Don't get me wrong. I'll take them over the Pistons, who just lack the experience. The Celtics versus the Magic, I just don't think the Magic can keep up. I mean, the Celtics have a very good defense as well. I know the Magic's is probably better, but it is pretty close. And then the Celtics are just so much better offensively. I think this is just not a great matchup here for the Magic. And the Celtics just have too much ultimately. So I'll take the Celtics. Back over to the West. Now, this is a matchup that a lot of people are talking about if it does happen in the second round. I saw Shannon Sharp say he would take the Lakers over the Thunder in the series. And normally I would go with the Thunder. But we're going to have some fun. These aren't official. I'm going to take the Lakers. I think with the way they're playing right now, I know they don't have a center, but keep in mind the Thunder are without Chet Holmgren. I know they have Hartenstein still, but the Lakers, even without a center, are just running through teams right now. They're playing amazing. I mean, they are playing lights out. Luka and LeBron, Austin Reeves as well. I know the Thunder are very deep and have one of the best defenses in the league, but I think actually if this series were to be more low scoring, it may actually favor the Lakers. Um, just because, I mean, Luka and LeBron, those guys can get clutch baskets, and I know SGA can too, which is why, this there's going to be some upsets. It's not going to be all chalk. It's not going to be 1-2, 1-2. I mean, maybe it will. We've seen it before. But, we're having some fun today. I'm going to take the Lakers. Just love the way they're playing. They're hot. And yeah, give me the Lakers over the Thunder. This is probably the first time I haven't picked the Thunder to win in a while, but hey, we're going with the Lakers. We're riding the hot hand. Again, this is if the playoffs were to start today, not who I would pick in April if these were the standings. This is if the playoffs were to start today, and with the way the Lakers are playing, I trust them. I'm going to take them. There's more experience. I think it comes down to that. The Grizzlies versus the Nuggets. Now, honestly, I'm gonna take the Nuggets pretty easily here. I just don't think the Grizzlies have enough. I know Jaren Jackson Jr. Is actually a pretty solid guy for Jokic, but I mean, just you really can't stop Jokic, whoever you are. I know he might win DPOI, and I think actually recently, Jokic has like dominated him, or maybe it's the other way around. But I think that's the case. But even then, I mean, in a playoff series, you can't dismiss Jamal Murray as well. He's one of the best playoff risers of anybody in the league, and when he's going, when Jokic is going, this team is just impossible to beat, and they have one of the best home courts as well. So I'm gonna take the Nuggets over the Grizzlies. The Cavs versus the Bucks. This one would be a very interesting, very fun series, I will say. We don't see. I mean, this would be, man. This may be one of the most fun series. The Donovan Mitchell versus Giannis and Dame. You got maybe the DPOI and Evan Mobley. Darius Garland has been so good. Man, this would be a very fun series. I think this could potentially go all 7 games, and I think people dismiss the Bucks, but don't forget. I mean, Giannis and Dame on the same team. That is a crazy duo. Don't forget about the Bucks. They're still a very good team. They have the experience to get it done. But I think as of right now, with the way the Cavs are playing offensively, I'll give it to them. They also get the home court in the series, but I think this one could actually go either way. I'm a little bit tipsy on if I want to trust the Cavs come playoff time, but I can't dismiss the fact the way they're playing right now. So, they've been the 1 seed in the East pretty much the whole season. Actually, I think literally the whole season. So I'll give it to the Cavs, but I think the Bucks could make some noise. But at this point, with the way the Cavs offense is going, I'll give it to them. The Knicks versus the Celtics. Now, I've been saying the Knicks just aren't on the same tier as the Cavs and the Celtics. So with that being said, I'm going to take the Celtics. I believe they're still the odds-on favorite to win the NBA Finals, if I'm not mistaken. But I think they can get it done over the Knicks. We've seen them in the regular season blow out the Knicks. I mean, it's not a great matchup for the Knicks. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. So take the Celtics. Back over to the Western Conference Finals, the Lakers versus the Nuggets, a rematch from the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago where the Nuggets swept them. I don't think it would be a sweep, but, I mean, we're looking at this. I know I've been praising the Lakers. They're so hot, and they have the experience. But keep in mind, the Nuggets just won the championship 2 years ago with a lot of pretty much the same team. I mean, Westbrook's here, but I'm not really worried about him falling off. I mean, I think he's going to be what he's been doing, 12 points a game, very good guy for them. The Nuggets also get the home court, and the big issue is who's going to guard Jokic for the Lakers. I mean, because Alex Len, Jackson Hayes, that's who's going to guard Jokic. I don't love that. Maybe it's LeBron. Maybe. But yeah, I don't love that. LeBron's not a great defender as well, at least at this point in his career. And Luka also not a great defender, so don't love him if he has to take Jamal Murray. I don't know if that would be the matchup, but Probably not, but I mean, yes, you could say the same thing with the Nuggets. Who's going to guard Luke and LeBron? I mean, it's the same thing. But I think if the Nuggets get here, I think they get it done. I think they get back to the finals in this scenario. I mean, the Lakers can't stay hot forever. They're going to have a very tough series against OKC to start. I think the Nuggets' path maybe is a little bit easier. But then again, the Nuggets have to go through the Warriors and the Grizzlies, which maybe even tougher than the Rockets and the Thunder. So I'm going to take the Nuggets just because Jokic is just that. I mean, and the Lakers, the center prop. I can't. I know they're playing so good, but I can't take them to the finals with that. I mean, it's just glaring. Everybody's saying it, but it's the truth. I mean, it's just a glaring fault they have. But I mean, I'm giving them some love. I got them in the Western Conference Finals. Moving over to the East, though, I keep going back and forth on who I'm taking in the East. The Cavs or the Celtics. I think right now I'm staying with the Celtics. They're defending champs. They have the exact same team pretty much from last year. And then, yes, the Cavs have so many guys offensively and defensively. They're very strong. I'm very interested to see how DeAndre Hunter continues to gel with this team because I think that's a really underrated and really solid move that they made. But as of right now, the Celtics just get so many threes up and they go in. They defensively they play very well. Drew Holiday is one of the best defenders. I think he could take Donovan Mitchell. I think Tatum and Jaylen Brown are slept on. Those two guys are amazing. And yes, this would be a very fun Eastern Conference Finals, probably all seven. But I just don't know if I can trust the Cavs to the finals. And it really comes down to that. I'm sorry. I know the Cavs are the one seed. They've been the one seed. I've taken them to the finals before, but I just trust the Celtics more. That's what it comes down to. So now we get a Celtics-Nuggets rematch, and I think this was what I was picking on pretty much every episode last year. So it's interesting to see that we get it. I think this is probably the first time we've seen this year. But I think at this point, this is what I got. Both the two seeds here. Jokic versus Tatum. I mean, this would be a very fun series. The thing here is, I was saying the Lakers have a pretty big fault just staring me in the face. You'd say the same thing about the Nuggets. The depth is just not there. And can Jokic last? I mean, we've seen him win the finals, so yes. But, I mean, he's got to get wear down a little bit. I think the Celtics get it done. I think the Celtics would beat the Nuggets right now in a 7-game series in the finals. Celtics are my champ. This is the first time that somebody besides the Thunder have been my champ for a while. And again, it's very hard to repeat, but I think in this scenario, it shapes up very well for the Celtics. I think it does. I think Tatum and Jaylen Brown get their second rings, and I think they go back-to-back right now. Now, if you told me the Thunder won, if you told me the Nuggets won, if you told me the Cavs, maybe even the Lakers, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, those are probably the top 5 teams, at least how they're playing right now. But yeah, I think at this point, I'm going to take the Celtics over the Nuggets just because I worry about Denver's depth. It's just really come down to that. And I don't see that much of a flaw with the Celtics. They got the experience. They got the defense. They got the offense. They got the superstar. They shoot threes. I think the Celtics are maybe the most complete team in the league, besides maybe the Thunder. But the Celtics do have more experience than the Thunder. But you know, I think it just comes down to depth. I think the Celtics have more than them than the Nuggets, and I think they win. But that is going to do it for episode 10 of NBA Playoff Watch. We're doing these typically every single week. We might take a bit of a break. I'm going to try to keep these weekly, but with the conference tournaments starting up, it's going to be a little bit tough to continue to this weekly, but I'll try my best. But yeah, typically these are weekly. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notice to make sure you don't miss whenever we upload. We upload college basketball, college football, NFL, and NBA, as well as MLB every single week. MLB season right around the corner. If that interests you, make sure you subscribe. Like I said, we're predicting all 31 conference tournaments, and March Madness and just March in general is right around the corner. So huge time for college basketball and huge time, probably the best time to be on this channel because we're posting multiple videos a day. So yeah, just ramping up for that. It's a very exciting time. Make sure you subscribe. We're trying to 1,000 by the end of the year. But with all that being said, that is going to do it for episode 10 of NBA Playoff Watch. Like this video if you enjoyed. And yes, I will see you guys probably tomorrow with our first conference tournament prediction. It's going to be very fun. So yeah, thank you so